going to kind of travel back to classifying 2D shapes. And to do that, I want you to go to your table of contents and put in classifying 2D shapes. We took our test today and we did not do very well on it. So I'm going to kind of back up and we are going to make two kind of anchor charts in our notebook for both of these, okay? So the first one right here, I want you to, I'm going to write on this side of my paper first. At the very top of your paper, I would like you to write quadrilaterals. Okay? I want you to know that quad means 4. So a quadrilateral must have 4 sides plus 4 angles. So to be a quadrilateral, you have 4 sides and 4 angles. Okay? So I'm going to draw kind of a big quadrilateral. All right? So do this with me. I should have went in a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so there's my quadrilateral. Not perfect, but it's good. This is a parallelogram, right? Parallel line here, parallel line here, parallel line here, parallel line here. They're never going to touch. So I want you to write parallelogram club. Okay, the rule to be in the parallelogram club, you have to you must have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Okay, that's the rule to be in the club. You have rules to be in clubs, right? So maybe I look like this. Right, those are parallel sides. Maybe I look like this. Right, as long as the sides are never going to touch, they're parallel. So these are parallel, they're going to keep going forever, they're never going to touch. These are parallel, they're going to keep going forever, they're never going to touch. So parallel lines. All right? I'm going to use this little straight edge for a second. So draw this with me. You can use the edge of your paper, however you need to do that. So in here, that is going to represent our rhombus club. So rhombus. And there's a rule to be in the rhombus club. Okay? There's rules to be in every club. So in the rhombus club, the rule must have 4 equal sides. Must have 4 equal sides. That makes you in the rhombus club. Okay, our next club that club is going to be called the rectangle club. We're just calling these clubs, right? The rule to be in that club is you must have 4 right angles. Like a rectangle, right? I have a right angle right here, right here, right here, right here. That's my 4 right angles. So if I am a rectangle, 4 right angles, okay, there's a really cool thing that happens. There is another club that is like the coolest club ever, and it is called the square club. And we know to be in the square club, you are also in the rectangle club. You're also in the rhombus club. You're in the parallelogram club and in the quadrilateral club. Okay? So all of these different shapes fall in to what club? Well, if you're just a parallelogram, if you just follow this rule, you're just out here in parallelogram and quadrilateral. Okay? All of these, parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, and square, all are quadrilaterals because they have 4 sides. So if you follow this rule, you're in the parallelogram club. But if you follow this rule and this rule, you're in the rhombus and parallelogram quadrilateral club. But if you get this rule, then you are in the rectangular club, okay, and the parallelogram club, and the quadrilateral club. But if you're in the cool square, you are a square and a rectangle and a rhombus and a parallelogram and a quadrilateral. Okay? Other page. I would like you to title the top of your page Classifying Triangles. We need to know that tri means 3. 3-sided, okay? So I'm going to make this fun and pretty. Oh, I left off my S. Classifying triangles. We are going to put a line down our paper in the middle. Line about right there. Make this a little T-chart. First, we are going to classify them by the length of their sides. The other way that we're going to classify them is by the types of angle. Okay? Draw me about right here. Line across. Down a little bit more. Line across. So the first thing we're going to work on is right up here. So Again, I'm going to use my little straight edge paper. I'll have rulers for you to use to draw these during class. And I want my pencil so I can erase, and then I'll use my marker to brighten them. So scaling, I'm going to draw one side this way, one side this way, one side this way. Oh, that's too big. So I am going to label this a scaling triangle. I know it's a triangle because it has 3 sides that come together for 3 vertices. And I know, because Miss Webster has gone over it for a couple of days now, that scaling means none of my side lengths are the same. So it has 0 congruent means same, sides. Has 0 of them. Okay? I am going to come right over here. This is a right angle. And to be a right angle, you have to have 1 right angle. Okay, let's go back over here to side length. So I have scaling triangle, I have a right angle. All right, we're going to go to our next side length one. We are going to what do I notice about this one? These 2 lines are the same. So I'm going to put that little hashtag mark right there. And we call this an isosceles triangle. And if you need to write it out to the side and put an arrow, you can do that as well. An isosceles triangle has a rule, and it says that it has 2 congruent, which means equal, sides. So all of this column is talking about the side lengths, okay, of the triangle. Over here, we're talking about the inside angles. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the other side length. The other one that we would have is a what? Oh, it looks like all 3 of them are the same. Actually, I'm going to draw this a little bit bigger so that I can write inside of it. So that's supposed to look like they're all the same length. Hold on. And that's why we use a pencil. So this is the same length as this one, is this one. So we're going to call this a equilateral, equilateral triangle. Okay, and it has a rule too. And its rule says that it is going to have 3 congruent, which means equal, sides. Okay, so you are one of these 3 if you are a triangle. You are either scaling, you are isosceles, or you are equilateral. You are also a right angle, or these all look small, huh? So if they're all small, we call them acute. So this is an acute triangle. And an acute triangle, its rule is that it has 3 acute angles. So all 3 angles must be smaller than 180. Excuse me, all 3 angles have to be smaller than 90 to be acute. All triangles equal 180. So I want you to write that. All angles are less than 90 degrees, and total of the 3 equal 180 degrees. And instead of the 3 there, let's write the word 3 so we don't get confused. Here, up here at this right angle, one angle equals 90 degrees. All 3 angles still have to equal 180 degrees. Okay? Last thing you can be okay, this is kind of a big angle, isn't it? We know that it's bigger than an L. Well, should have made it a little bit bigger, but it's bigger than an L. We're going to call this an obtuse triangle. Okay, and an obtuse triangle can only have one obtuse angle. And the reason for that is if you have one angle that's more than 90, then these other 2 are going to have to be less, enable for it to equal 180. So one angle is more than 90 degrees, and all 3 angles total 180 degrees. Okay, so here is the thing about being a triangle. You are either a scalene right, a scalene acute, a scalene obtuse, or you are either an isosceles right, isosceles acute, isosceles obtuse, or an equilateral, equilateral what? Okay, equilateral right, equilateral acute, equilateral obtuse. You fit into one of these, or you fit into 2 of these. You are named by your side and you are named by your angles. All right. So after you get that in your math log, that should take you to the next station.